All right, passengers, get ready, because it is time for me to quit the Wind Waker puns because I can't think of any more, but more importantly, it is also time for the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker All Dungeons with Mini Mini. Take it away.
Hello, I am here with my commentator EJ125. Say hello, EJ. Hello. I'm going to be doing Wind Waker All Dungeons, and first of all, we had a file name incentive, I believe.
We did in fact have a file name incentive, and that file name incentive winner, Swim Swam. Capital S, capital S. Well, I guess, oh yeah, you can do that.
Trying to find letters is too hard. There we go. Okay, so this game has a 5-minute intro cutscene, so we're just going to be going straight into it in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, the original version for the GameCube, and I will be doing all dungeons. So there are 6 dungeons in the game: Dragon Roost Cavern, Forbidden Woods, Tower of the Gods, Forsaken Fortress, Earth Temple, and Wind Temple, and I'm going to be beating all of them. So this is a pretty cool category. There's a lot of unique tricks in this category that you don't see in any other run. So hopefully it'll be a pretty good showcase.
Also one of the harder categories.
Yes, definitely. So things will go wrong, I can guarantee, just hopefully not catastrophically wrong.
Or will they go right?
Some things I hope will go right. I hope for at least one thing to go right. So yeah, we got this cool intro cutscene, and then after the intro, we will be on Outset Island. And normally, at the start of the game, you have to do a whole bunch of stuff on Outset Island, and it takes half an hour before you actually get into the game where you can start doing glitches and stuff. But instead, I'm going to be doing a trick called a manual super swim, which will be explained more by EJ once we get there. But basically, I'm going to have to do 200 frame perfect pause buffers. And some people have this crazy magical ability to do that while still talking. I don't have that ability, so I'm going to be muting myself during that. But it's the very first thing you do in the run is one of the hardest tricks in the game. So always a little spooky.
Nah, it's
but
easy.
We'll see how it goes. Last time I did this in a marathon, I did some crazy backups because it went wrong, yeah. And it was insane. So I'm hoping to get a smoother one this time. Let's see. Right, I'm playing on, like I said, the original version for the GameCube, and I'm playing on the Japanese version. Pretty much just because the Japanese text is way faster. There are other version differences, but for this category, the text is pretty much the only thing that matters. And also, I have a Game Boy plugged into my console, which, if you don't know, this game has an item called the Tingle Tuner, which lets you do stuff on a Game Boy if you have one plugged in, and it's very useful for speedruns. So yeah, Japanese version, original GameCube version, and I have a Game Boy, which will come in handy later on.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
More so in this category than anything else, because there's one trick that we'll see way later that is only possible if you have the Tingle Tuner and Game Boy, and that one trick saves 20 minutes, plus a bunch of other stuff throughout the run.
This one simple trick.
Yeah.
Nintendo hates her.
Literally just one single thing that you do on the Game Boy, and it saves 20 minutes. Alright. So yeah, that part of the cutscene is finally over. Just got this outset intro, and then yeah, I'll be doing the manual super swim. So basically, like I said, I'm doing a bunch of frame perfect pause buffers because what I want to do is input up and down inputs on my stick, like alternating every frame. So I do up for one frame and then down and then up and down. And that is going to let me build up a bunch of speed so I can escape this island. Because normally you're just trapped here for ages.
Yeah, like Minnie said, it takes like 30 minutes to get the Wind Waker, which is like one of the most important items in the game. He is now muted, he is in focus mode. So I guess it's my time to explain. So Minnie kind of touched on this, but basically in this game, whenever you turn around in the water, I'm gonna say gain, which might be kind of counterintuitive, but you gain -3 speed. And there is no cap on negative speed in this game. So if you, theoretically, if you do that, you can infinitely gain negative speed, and that's what we're going to use to escape. It's called manual super swim because there is a super swim trick in this game. We're going to see a lot later on. But it requires the Wind Waker, which is what we're going to get right now. So for this first one, we have to go kind of crazy.
Also, flashing lights warning, by the way.
Yeah, for most of the run. Not for this swim in particular. Well, maybe the pause screen could be kind of distracting. But later super swims, yes, there will be a bunch of flashing lights. But yeah, so he said he needs to do about 200. It's more like, it's like 180 about, but assuming he gets them all. And he needs to get about like a little over -500 speed, and then he'll move fast enough such that he will go beyond the camera and kind of manually kickstart what usually makes a super swim work. And he'll be able to just hold up and then gain a bunch of speed automatically. So this is gonna take a while. It's gonna probably take like 3 minutes of him doing this. So we're in for a wild ride. But you'll notice that as he does this more and more, he'll like slowly move more and more per frame, and that's just showing that he's gaining more speed.
This kind of sounds like a cool song. Like I'm jamming to this.
Yeah, it's a nice rhythm.
Yeah.
For those familiar with the HD version, they also do this, but their pausing's a lot faster, so they can do this way quicker. On top of that, there are an elite few who can do this unbuffered. We call that buffered manual super swim, where you just flick the stick really fast to like basically do this without pausing. But you do a little bit of a thing with the neutral position of the stick where you like recalibrate it so that when you go up and down you don't hit it, because in this game when you hit neutral you lose a lot of speed, like a lot. Has something to do with like changing animations, swimming animations. But so far I haven't been paying super attention to Minnie's like frames on his pausing, but he's looking pretty darn good. Yeah, once he gets enough speed, he'll go straight to Dragon Roost. Basically across the entire map, which is kind of crazy for the first swim of the game. But yeah. Yeah, unbuffered is quite wild and also not good most of the time for your health. It is not recommended to do that unless like you are competing for a world record or something. People have hurt themselves. I have had to wear a little like wrist brace before because I went a little too hard.
Hey, no shame. I wear a wrist brace and I just type on my little keyboard.
They're actually quite nice. So maybe in about like a minute, maybe less than a minute. It's been a long time since I've done this trick in particular. But he should be close to upcharge. He's fairly close, yeah. I can kind of tell by the distance he's traveling per frame. And once he does that, he's gonna do a trick called upcharge, where right now he's in a thing called free cam, which you initiate with a C stick, where the camera that kind of stays where it is and you can control it, as opposed to like being locked behind Link and like following him as he moves. He's gonna switch cams back to like the other camera, and then hold up, and then travel past the camera, and then every frame he holds up, he is going to go behind the camera again, and the camera's got a 180 every frame because it can't really catch up to him, and he'll gain -3 speed every frame automatically instead of, yeah, there you go, he did it right now.
Whoa!
So now he's doing basically exactly what he was doing before, but he doesn't have to like manually switch directions every time. And now he's going to go back towards a refill spot because he's not going to be able to make it with this much air. And then once he hits the refill spot, he will make his way towards Dragon Roost. And if we're lucky, maybe he'll hit an invisible ship right when he leaves. Should be kind of funny. Yes, so right there you saw he got stuck for like a fraction of a second. The pirate ship is always there in the intro, it's just invisible. Fun fact. So we're going to that big old island over there. And that was a pretty good time for MSS. For pause buffering it.
Hello.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was not bad. Yeah, it's like a 10:30-ish, which is like 30 seconds off my best.
I think Jim has gotten like a 940 something, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I've had one sub 10.
Oh, just for reference, I don't think I ever mentioned exactly, because I did talk about unbuffered, but unbuffered saves like 2.5 minutes. Like, you can get like sub 8 Wind Waker times, which is absurd.
Yeah, unbuffered is insane, but I've tried like 5 times to learn it, and I just cannot.
Really, the only category where it's implemented hard is 90% right now.
Yeah. So I'm getting the Wind Waker, which, as the name of the game implies, is very important, although probably not for the reasons they intended. It's going to let us do a glitch called storage, which will be very useful throughout the entire run. But first, I'm going to just go and learn the Wind's Requiem. And there are a couple ways to skip the cutscene for learning this song, but in these MSS routes, MSS being manual super swim, it kind of just doesn't really work out very well to do the cutscene skip a lot of the time, because you don't have any items when you get here. So I will just be watching the cutscene, it's not too long.
Yeah, in this category, we only changed the win once and then back again, which kind of sucks having to get it, but there's really no way around it. It just kind of has to happen that way. Theoretically, you could, but it would be pretty bad. Like, it probably would lose time, I feel like.
Yeah. So yeah, after this cutscene, I'm going to be doing the storage glitch, which I mentioned. So to do storage, first you do what's called a Wind Waker dive. So I'm going to climb a ledge and then pull the Wind Waker out, and it's going to make me fall. And then I want to cancel the Wind Waker frame perfectly. If I do so, I will get storage. And then you want to explain camera lock?
Yeah, so storage is a very versatile glitch, and one of the applications is, well, basically it kind of just like messes with events. And pulling the Wind Waker is one such event. And when you pull Wind Waker while you have storage, you get the same like camera that you get while you're in Wind Waker, but you can move, which is very important because that lock cam is actually very, very stubborn and takes control of a lot. So when you're in the water, similar to the upcharge, if you just hold up, the camera just flips every frame because Link turns around every frame. The camera is always set to be in front of Link. So that is kind of our non-manual super swim. And we can just do this at will now, as long as we're able to get a Wind Waker dive to do storage, which is honestly, the requirements for that are not that strict. You can get storage from a lot of places.
Yeah, so now I'm at this random submarine, and it has these moblins in. And they just sent me to jail in Forsaken Fortress, which is pretty strange. So normally the only time in the game that you would ever encounter those moblins without having a sword is in Forsaken Fortress. So the way they programmed them is, you know, if they see Link and Link doesn't have a sword, throw him in jail. But I never got the sword, so I can just kind of teleport to Forsaken Fortress.
Which is very convenient because Forsaken Fortress, so there's 3 visits for Forsaken Fortress. We just call them FF1, FF2, and FF3. The first one is unique, and then it's like it's its own map, so we cannot get to it in any other way other than that, or like doing the early game. So very lucky that exists, because FF1 is required to beat the game with current human capabilities.
Yeah, it is technically possible to skip, but not for us. So I need to kill this Bokoblin because its searchlight is in the way of where I need to go later. And then here I'm going to try to get storage again on this ledge.
Yeah, we'll see another application where instead of using it to get camera lock, he's going to use it to eat a like trigger that usually
Yes,
would start a cutscene.
The gossip stone trigger, you might have seen like the camera went a little bit weird there. So I just stored a text box, which will be very important later, and it also means my controller is currently vibrating, which you can't see or tell, but normally your controller vibrates at the start of that text box. So because I stored it, my controller is just infinitely vibrating right now until I enter a loading zone.
Also, another thing is there's actually 2 triggers there. There's also a sword trigger there for some reason. So in that general area, you have to walk there in order for the sword to be spawned at the end of Forsaken Fortress. So it's like a 2-for-1.
Yeah. And then in this room, I'm gonna grab some rupees. And then I'm gonna be getting storage again, and this time I'm gonna start opening this chest.
Yeah, that's called chest storage.
That is, oops, is going to mess with Link's collision. So basically when you open a chest in the game, there's this like animation where Link kind of leans into the chest to grab the item, and in order to make that animation work, the game like shrinks your hitbox during the animation of a chest and then fixes it again afterwards. But because I never actually finished the animation, I can just do this and walk up walls. I can walk up this pillar over here, and this is now basically the end of Forsaken Fortress. And then this last outdoor section I'm going to be doing pretty much as intended, although coming up is this last mob that we have to get past. What I'm going to do is put on this barrel, and then wait until he starts walking, put it off, and then I can just run past him and he will not see me. So the way they programmed those barrels is like, I guess they didn't want you to get caught immediately after taking off the barrel. So if you take off the barrel, then your kind of hitbox for being able to be seen by the moblins is shrunk until, well, for a while. So if I take off the barrel, I can just run past them if I go fast.
Very useful. You still get caught if you're like really close to them, but we don't have to do that. And also, Minnie's doing a little thing called quick sidling, where if instead of just holding the same direction the entire time, he's like tapping the direction and going back to neutral really quickly, and it makes you move a little bit faster. And also one of my least favorite things to do. I feel like it's very uncomfortable.
So normally when you come to FF1, you have a sword and then you lose it during the cutscene. But it's just here anyway. So now I have a sword. Then do a combo to kill this Goblin. And I have 1 frame to do a backflip here. Damn, you didn't get it. And that is Forsaken Fortress 1. So I came here to do essentially 3 things. I wanted to get the sword, which I just did. I needed to hit that Gossip Stone trigger, which is very important. That'll come up in a little bit. And I also, you just need to beat Forsaken Fortress 1, like watch this cutscene here. Because that is going to spawn the King of Red Lions into the overworld, which is useful to have, somewhat, but also prevents the game from crashing later on. Because if you try to do some stuff later on, or actually, is that even true for this? Hold on, I'm mixing stuff up. Basically, we need to watch this cutscene.
I think it would just get annoying with other flags, but like, we don't go to Hyrule 2, so that crash doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay, so not normally there's a crash that happens when you go to Hyrule 2, if you don't have King of Red Lions, but this is the one and only category that actually doesn't go to Hyrule 2. So it is just, we need to have the boat. But yeah, we do need to have the boat, because otherwise we can't go back to Hyrule.
Yeah, and also like, we get to get better save warp flags, which is nice. By Hyrule 2, similar to like FF1, FF2, FF3 Forsaken Fortress, there are like 3 visits of Hyrule that you do usually in the game that we just dubbed 1, 2, and 3. And we skipped the second one, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. We also pretty much skipped the third one, but
yeah,
it's kind of weird. Like, we have to go back to beat the game, but we don't go the normal way. So yeah, we just did a bunch of storage stuff, just to explain that a bit more. Basically, there's essentially like one single bit in memory that's either like a 0 or 1, which essentially controls whether you're in a cutscene or not. So when you get storage, you essentially trick the game into thinking you're in a cutscene when you're not, and vice versa. So that when you hit some sort of event that is considered a cutscene, so like talking to an NPC or pulling the Wind Waker out or opening a chest or opening a door, that event will kind of get cancelled, or it depends on the event, but it'll be like cancelled or stored or something, and it has many different effects.
Yeah, it has so many different effects. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
and you see a lot back to back to back to back.
Yeah, it's hard to like generalize everything, but essentially, event gets stored, weird things happen, depending on what it is exactly.
I'd like to cut in for just a moment and let everyone know. First off, we have a $220 donation from Suave Peanut, who says, "Huzzah!" And I want everyone to know that first, if you see the new QR code on the stream, that is for easy access to the coffee page. We also have a new incentive opening up for Sticky Business with Scala Kitty. Pick the Pride flag, and with that $220 donation, Ace Pride flag is in the lead. And you've still got plenty of time to beat that.
Nice. There's a big donation. Okay, so we're at Windfall now, and I'm going to be doing a few things here. First, I just want to collect some rupees. Now I'm going to go and free Tingle. So freeing Tingle is normally required to beat the game, but only...
I think that's HD, isn't it?
Well, you need it to get Triforce charts.
Oh, I'm so dumb. Yeah, it's to buy the sale. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, in HD they made it so you can't buy the sale until you save Tingle, which I guess is so like you don't get stuck when you do the Triforce quest later. But in SD, you only need it for the Triforce quest. But I'm not going to be doing the Triforce quest. But this is the reason I want Tingle, is to get the Tingle tuner. So this item is what I mentioned at the very start, which is why I have my Game Boy plugged into the console. We're going to see it used a lot throughout the entire run, basically. And that is the only reason I'm here. In, like, world record attempts, you will see people also go and get the Picto Box, which is here. Because that allows you to do a trick at the very end of the run. But I don't plan to do that trick, so I'm gonna just leave it.
It goes to show that I never do runs with Triforce Quest. Because I forgot about that.
Alright, just gonna collect some more rupees. I want to buy the sale, which costs 80 rupees, but I also will need some more rupees afterwards. I'm gonna head into this place, which is the Sploosh Kaboom minigame. We will not be playing the minigame, unfortunately. I'm just here to rob them and leave.
Very convenient rupees.
Yeah, pretty fast, 30 rupees.
Pumpkin Spice in chat is asking if this is randomized as well.
This is not randomized, although these rupees can be randomized. Here, there's a random rupee part here that can be anything from 1 to 20. I got 5. Nice.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so I'm going to get storage again here and store King of Red Lion's text. I'm going to be using that to get a trick called double storage. So when you store a text box, you can have the text on screen while you're still controlling Link, and then if you close that text box again, it gives you storage back. But while that text is on screen, I'm going to get storage again, activate camera lock, and then close that text box. So then I'm going to have camera lock and storage, which is going to let me do a cutscene skip in a second, and I need to listen to my game to do this, so I'm going to be quiet for just like 20 seconds. I don't think that worked.
It did.
a
I heard
bit
the
more
rain.
of
I
a
heard
map.
the rain. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Sweet.
so that was Great Fish Island that I just swam to. Oh my god, no. I didn't.
Like you can't get back in,
I'm
can you?
dying. Okay, I
Yeah,
have
Coral
to refrain to
is
drown. Whoops.
Coral is very picky with flags. It's kind of awesome.
Forgot to equip sail. Okay, so what I just did there was a cutscene skip. So I got storage, so I was doing a super swim, and I also had storage. And then what I did was I drowned at the same time as hitting the cutscene trigger at the island, which caused the game to skip the cutscene basically. And then I respawned on King of Red Lions at Windfall, because that's just where the game, that's just how respawning works. If you drown, it respawns you in King of Red Lions in whatever island he is at, rather than whatever island Link is at. So that puts me back to Windfall, but it's now Endless Night, which means the pirate ship is here, and I can get bombs very early.
Yeah, usually when you go to the pirate ship, there's like we call these minigames called ropes 1 and 2, and usually you would encounter them in order 1 and 2. 1 at the beginning of the game where you get the spoils bag, and the second one after later. Here, casually, when you get the bombs. But because we hit that Gossip Stone trigger, that actually sets the pirate ship to ropes 2, because it's supposed to be like after. So I guess they just set it like that, which is very convenient.
I do need some more rupees still. It's fine. I just need to remember to get some more. So normally you have to go get the password to enter the pirate ship. I'm going to do what's called a roll clip here, and then walk out of bounds. And then I can just jump into the loading zone. So, when you climb a ledge, you can kind of have Link like partially clipped into a wall. And then if you do a roll on the first possible frame, you can fully clip. So that's what I did there to get out of bounds in that railing. And then because I have notches on my controller, I could roll at just the perfect angle to just backwalk perfectly and then do that little setup to jump into the loading zone. And also, this is the reason I needed that Gossip Stone trigger in Forsaken Fortress 1. Because that Gossip Stone trigger is what changes the pirate ship from being the spoils bag pirate ship into the bombs pirate ship. So if I didn't get that, then this would be ropes 1 instead of ropes 2, and I would be getting the spoils bag. So yeah, I don't need the spoils bag, I need bombs. And then here I'm doing these little jumps to kind of re-grab the ropes and skip swinging back and forth once. And I can get bombs.
And now Minnie's gonna save warp out of here, which is a little bit faster than walking out normally. And save warping is just saving and quitting, and then reloading the save, and it puts you at whatever position based on like flags and stuff. But in this case, it's just convenient.
Yeah, basically, during the early game, the game has a very weird way of deciding where to put you when you do a save warp. But after you enter King of Red Lions once, it kind of fixes it and puts it back to what you'd expect. So now, it's gonna just take me back to Windfall, where you would expect. And I'm going to turn on my Game Boy right now, and turn on the Tingle Tuner. Which takes, like, 30 seconds to turn on, for some reason. And if I don't mess up, this will be the only time I have to turn it on in the whole run. So anytime you have to do a save warp, like you go back to the title screen, it disables the Tingle Tuner again. So if I like mess up something and have to reload a save, I'll have to turn Tingle on again. But if everything goes well, this is meant to be the only time you turn it on.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And here I'm going to do double storage again, using this mailbox text. I'm going to be going to Forest Haven.
Yeah, Minnie's gonna cancel the cutscene in the same way, kind of the same way as last time with Great Fish. Great Fish is a little unique in which there are like actually 2 triggers that make it really annoying and why he had to drown. But Forest Haven only has 1, so we can just eat the cutscene and then don't have to do any drowning shenanigans. We'll just kind of like zip to the cutscene start position, but it'll cancel, and then he'll just continue swimming.
Yeah, most of the time, if an island has a cutscene, you can just store it with storage. It's just because Greyfish has 2 cutscenes on top of each other, I had to do some special stuff. But like here, you'll see I just kind of teleport on Sploosh, and that was the cutscene being stored. And then here I'm going to do a ledge clip. So I drop a bomb, and then I grab that ledge and climb towards the bomb. And the game is like, no, you're not allowed to occupy the same space as the bomb, so it pushes you the other way, which ends up clipping you through a wall. Now, when you swim in water, the game wants you to be at the highest water level, so if there's like 2 water levels on top of each other, it will just snap you up to the highest one, which is what happened there, so I could get into this loading zone.
And we're here for 2 reasons. One, we want the leaf, the Deku Leaf, which is a very, very powerful item in just like movement and like getting to places. And also, our first dungeon is nearby, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not the first dungeon of the game, but we're going to be doing these first 2 dungeons out of order. And in order to get the leaf, I'm going to be going for the Deku Tree cutscene skip. You want to explain this?
Yeah, pretty much. At its core, it's the exact same as like Greyfish cutscene skip that we saw earlier, but instead of Link drowning, Link is going to get crushed by a giant chin instead. So basically, when you kill all these chews, the cutscene starts. However, Minnie stored the cutscene, which put these chews in this weird state where we can't kill them, but we can push them out of bounds. And eventually, when they get low enough, they like hit the void, and then they unload, and that unloading kind of counts as them dying. So if you unload all of them, it also starts the cutscene. So Minnie's gonna time that. I'm gonna be quiet for a second for him so he can count.
That's fine.
Yeah, that seemed good. So yeah, he timed the last chew going out of bounds with the chin cycle so that he can get crushed as it starts. So pretty much, he just canceled the cutscene from starting as it started, and then he can just leave, because that cutscene is like pretty darn long. And now, you think he would want to go get the leaf and so I get the spawn there, but we don't have the grapple hook, which is what you need to like climb one of the bulbs. So he's going to come outside and do a hover. And I mean, you could do a hover inside, you do see that under categories, however, there is no way to live that hover, and we do want to go to the Forbidden Woods, which is the second dungeon in the game. So doing it this way, we can actually survive with the Tingle Tuner. Because the Tingle Tuner, its main use in the speedrun, among many, is that you can buy items, and one of such items is the Red Ting. And the Red Ting basically is like a red potion on command anywhere you want, as long as you have enough money. You do have to buy it from Tingle. So we are dead right now. This is a zombie hover. I'll explain a little bit more about what a zombie hover is after. But the moment he touches the ground, he's dead. However, we can heal in the air, and then we can just land up there, and we will live, which is kind of cool. And we'll see that a couple times. A zombie hover. Okay, a zombie hover, basically, when you die, there is 10 actionable frames where you can input a jump attack. And the game knows you're dead, so it's like you can't jump attack, so it cancels the jump attack the first frame possible. But you gain just enough height where if you do it fast enough, you can actually just infinitely gain height, which is kind of fun. So that's what Minnie did right there.
Yeah, so you do a jump attack and it's like, nope, cancel, but then you just do a mid-air jump attack, gain a little bit of height, and so literally what I'm doing is I'm just mashing the B button. That is the inputs for, apart from the like initial liftoff, you just mash the B button, and the faster you mash, the faster you gain height.
And some hovers are a little harder than others for like the speed requirement of the mashing, but in this one I don't think you really see like a really hard one in this category.
Yeah, they're all pretty easy. Delivery bag skip is probably the hardest, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to be changing the wind for the first time here.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I'm going to buy a Tingle balloon on my Game Boy, which is going to let me do this.
Incredible.
So, it's very strange. You probably didn't know that was a thing in this game, but the game just has an item that lets you walk in the air for 5 seconds. So that's pretty cool.
And it's just enough to skip all those shenanigans here.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, that was a lot of magic.
Dungeon. Yeah, that grass loves to give you loads of magic. Now, this is the second dungeon of the game, but doing it first is actually completely fine because I have bombs. And having bombs basically completely breaks the entire dungeon. So, you know, puzzle in this room, skipped because I had bombs. And then here I'm going to be doing what's called leaf pumping. So if I let go of the leaf and then pull it out again immediately, I can retain height better when leafing, which will be very handy.
Yeah, as Minnie said, they pretty much just shred through this dungeon. We just literally just beat it and leave. It takes like 3 or 4 minutes, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and then in this next room I'm going to use a tingle bomb, which is going to let me reveal a hidden purple rupee. No, it's not, because I didn't get rupees. I forgot this one.
Oh, luckily there are 5 conveniently placed rupees right here.
Quick detour.
I didn't notice that either.
I completely forgot. I had to grab some more rupees. Okay, now that I can afford a tingle bomb, I'm going to come over here. Do that. And I got the hidden purple rupee.
Yeah, so far Tingle has potions, a balloon, and a bomb.
Okay, and then I just got storage. And in this little alcove is a chest that I can get chest storage with, and remember chest storage gives me this messed up collision, which is going to let me completely break this dungeon, and most dungeons. Chest storage is very broken in dungeons. And again, just using bombs to shred through this dungeon. I'm gonna jump down here, and this is the way towards the boss room. So I'm gonna be just going straight towards the boss. Not even gonna be getting the item in this dungeon, which is the boomerang, because I don't need it. And I'm also not going to be getting the boss key, which might seem strange.
Yeah, you sound crazy.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a giant door in the way. There's no way I'm going to get past that door without the boss.
How are you going to get past it? Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, so chest storage, I mean, it basically reduces your collision to like a single point. So if there's even just a tiny, tiny gap in a bit of collision, you can just walk past it. So yeah, when they placed that boss door, I guess they left a tiny gap on the right side. So we just squeeze on through. So yeah, like I said, I didn't get the boomerang, which you need for this boss normally. But instead, I'm going to be throwing some bombs underneath. And they can kind of get stuck underneath like that and blow up. And just 4 bombs is enough to kill them. That was a good fight.
Yeah, that was really clean. It's really easy, like when you mess up, to just get kind of out of funk in that fight, because the way that Calidamos moves is kind of random, so it can be pretty easy to get confused.
At the very beginning of the fight, it moves like in a kind of like the same way every time. But then it just starts going randomly, so like I did kind of a setup to throw the first like 2 bombs in the right place, but if you mess that up, then it just becomes a lot harder.
And also, if you mess up enough, you'll be in like a different spot than you usually are, and you could potentially hit that heart container if you're like standing at a bad spot when you end the fight, which we'll see in a second would be really annoying. Well, not like a second, in like a minute or 2, but yeah, we do not want to have health here.
Yeah, generally you probably think getting a heart container is like good for safety, which I guess is true, but in this game we need to damage down a lot. There's a lot of killing Link, basically. Poor guy.
No!
gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
He's too cute.
Anyway, this is everyone's favorite cutscene for some reason. I don't really get it. And yeah, that was our first dungeon. That was a very fast dungeon. Most of the dungeons are not quite that fast, but chest storage does help a lot. Yeah, chat loves to sing along to these Koroks. I'm sure they will be doing it this time as well.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so we've pretty much done like all of the kind of early game setup. So I'm just going to be going straight to the next dungeon now. Because I have bombs, I have leaf, that's pretty much all I need, and Wind Waker. So yeah, I'm going to be heading to Dragon Roost Cavern.
The worst dungeon in the game.
Worst for you means best for us watching.
It is pretty cool in a speedrun, I'd say.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I am of the belief that it's not very fun to do.
Casually, yeah, not very good. Okay, so here I'm going to be doing the first instance of a push storage. So normally storage is done by climbing a ledge and then like manipulating your camera kind of to force Link to turn around and drop. But there I used a bomb to push Link off the ledge to get the Wind Waker dive.
Yeah, in this game, they don't like two actors kind of being on top of each other in the same spot, and so it kind of pushes Link out of the way. And that's true for a lot of actors in the game. We don't really see much more than just bombs in this category, but there are more things you can do, like bushes, trees, pots.
Yeah, and then just on the way I'm gonna making a pit stop to this, because we need to place all of these pearls to get to Tower of the Gods later. This one is just on the way. And then I'm going to be also making a pit stop to Fire Mountain so I can take a bunch of damage on the way to Dragon Roost. Because it has a bunch of like fire around it and it does actually damage you if you swim into it. It's a very fast way of taking damage. I just need to be careful of my air because I don't want to drown. It's not a huge deal if I drown as long as I don't die from drowning.
Yeah, he'd be back at full health and that would suck.
Yeah, it's okay to drown as long as you don't die.
Okay, that
Just in
sounds...
general.
That's science.
Yeah, so Minnie's damaging down for a hover coming up again, and this one is because there are multiple cutscenes that we'll have to like watch if we were to go to the island normally. They would take multiple minutes, so if we just hover, we can skip it, which is kind of nice. And yeah, this, as Minnie said earlier, this is probably the hardest hover in this category. It's kind of tight to get up there compared to the rest. And again, similar to the hover for the Deku Leaf, he is going to use the Tingle Tuner again to heal here. Very convenient. Why'd you hit yourself with a bomb?
Oops. Because Link, I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
What?
I'll prove it, look.
He's just a little guy now.
So I need to
Oh,
wait
no.
for this. Need to wait for this wind to change, and I need to damage down so I can just do them
Yeah,
at the same time.
we're actually going to do another hover almost immediately, so we take any chance we can get to do some damage without wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, which is why I'm damaging like into these loading zones, because it means I don't have to wait for the animation of Link like getting up again, because it just hits the loading zone. And we're in the next dungeon. And in this first room, I'm going to be getting another hidden purple rupee. Wow, letting these guys beat me up. Oh my god, okay.
What? Why? Why did you jump that way? These guys suck.
Yeah, okay. I did not manage that very well, but whatever. Yeah, they were just missing me with every shot.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah, they can be pretty bad. They're pretty annoying.
Okay, so I just needed that key to get through here, and then gonna be getting storage in here to skip a little cutscene. And then another zombie hover. This one is the longest one in this run.
Yeah, this basically we're going straight to the 3rd floor. There are 3 floors in this dungeon, and it's slow to do them normally, so we're just gonna go straight to the top and beat. Well, we're gonna get the item this time, unfortunately. But then we'll go to the boss. This one can be kind of scary depending on how your mashing goes and like the angle you have when you kind of go over this lip right here. Because again, if he were to hit the ground at all, he will die on frame 1. So going over lips like that or ledges can be kind of scary if you happen to like have a gap in your mashing in the exact moment.
Yeah, and then something interesting about this room is that this lava pillar, it's like on a cycle from the moment you enter the dungeon. That was a weird jump. So yeah, like depending on how fast those bokoblins damage you and like your movement in the first room can determine which cycle you get on that lava thing.
Other than getting into Forbidden Woods, this is the other benefit of changing the wind to west.
Yeah, and this
Cross
is
those gaps.
This is also the main reason we want to do Forbidden Woods first, is to get the Deku Leaf, which lets us, yeah, cross those gaps, which skips a bunch of the dungeon.
Yeah, there is a 2nd floor hover, but it's a lot. You have to go through more rooms.
I'm gonna try to get storage here. No, missed it. That's fine. You can save like a tiny bit of time if you get storage during this cutscene, but you only get 1 attempt. And then just some slashes and a quick spin deals with this guy. And thankfully this guy always drops an orb which has bombs and a yellow rupee, which is very handy. And then I want to get storage for storing my at least text. Oops. So I can go through the text while having control of Link, and then that is going to end up basically skipping like half of her text boxes. But normally there's like another bunch of text boxes there before she gives you the grappling hook, but I just skips them. Oops. And I also need to change the wind. I'd always forget to change the wind here.
I usually always do it after like I roll to grapple that thing right there.
Yeah, because that storage strat, like in the middle of the fight, if you get the storage, then there's a strat where you kind of change the wind during the cutscene of that moblin coming. But that means if I don't get storage, I always forget to change the wind. Okay, so now I head into this room, which is the boss door room. Now you might be thinking, but I don't have the boss key. What am I going to do? Well, there are some chests in here, and a ledge that I can get storage on. I can just kind of swoosh my way on in.
Didn't Leaf shake my head?
This is never not gonna be cool to me.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There is
What
one
isn't
dungeon.
cool is this
that
guy.
Ugh.
Yeah, this guy sucks. There is one dungeon that we're gonna have to actually get the boss key, unfortunately. So this boss is basically an auto-scroller, except that there's some RNG in that he can hit you with lava.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's auto-scroller plus random slowdown sometimes. So yeah, if there's any like donations or anything, this would be a great time.
I would just like to remind everyone why we are here today. We all love her. We know her. We love her some more. Happy Bear has quite a bit of medical debt, and we are here today helping her clear it as much as we can. And we are yesterday. Wait, today's Sunday. Today is the last day. Excuse me. Today's the last day to donate, and you can just donate. Exclamation mark donate, and look at the incentives we have. Exclamation mark incentives. You would also scan the QR code on screen.
Yeah, so those like lava bits that are like flying down from the sky, those can just hit you
Yeah.
where you're standing when you're aiming, which is really stupid.
And if I see one coming towards me, I do try to dodge it, but I swear, sometimes they just hit you when there's nothing coming. Like, there are times where I'm like, okay, nothing is coming towards me, and then, like, just takes damage and gets knocked back. But this phase, just 2 cycles with a slash and a quick spin is enough to kill him. Which, by the way, you do a quick spin by just spin the control stick and press B, which, I mean, is used a lot in most 3D Zelda games, but I definitely didn't know how to do quick spins when I was a casual. I always charged my spin attacks by holding B. So yeah, again, another nice looking heart container. Will I pick it up this time?
Eat it.
No, I missed. No. Oh man.
Ah!
There it is in the background. And some rupees apparently. Where did they come from?
Hi.
Alright, 2 dungeons down.
We're gonna have some cool weather here in the next cutscene.
Yeah, doing Dragon Roost with Endless Night. It's pretty cool.
Wait. Ah! There's more where that came from with some donations.
Oh. Yeah, so when we did the Greyfish cutscene skip earlier, it's that Endless Night, which normally is like a thing you set and then you go and unset it like immediately. But we don't want to do that yet. I mean, it's going to be what we're doing next, but yeah, it's lasted for like half an hour, which is pretty cool. In any percent, you actually beat the game in Endless Night, and it looks really interesting in the Ganondorf fight, because it's like technically an outside area. So like the sky is all dark and stuff during the fight.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
So it's even more cinematic.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to be going to Outset Island, which is pretty far away, because I want to get the last pearl, so I can go to Tower of the Gods. And because it's Endless Night, there is a cutscene there, so I'm going to need double storage again. And then I'm going to be trying to do a Tingle Balloon Super Swim.
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy swim. You can make it without a balloon, but only people named Gymnast86 can do that.
Yeah, Jim is the world record holder, and he does this swim in an absolutely insane way. But he's just really good, I guess. Us plebs have to do something a bit different.
Although it looks a little bit cooler, I'd say.
Yeah, so I just activated a tingle balloon. And then just as it activates, I'm going to be swimming towards this fairy island over here. Remember, the tingle balloon lets me walk in the air. So I just walk in the air, which is to get an air refill, and then I still keep my speed, and when I land in the water, I'm still super swimming. So that lets me get an air refill without slowing down at all, basically. Where am I going? Okay, got a little bit lost. I should try to see my speed. That was not where I thought I was, but it should be fine. I hope. Yeah, this is fine. Now I'm at outset, and I stopped the cutscene because I had double storage. And then during Endless Night, back here is a whirlpool, which normally you would like sail to, but I'm gonna just swim into it, and when you hit the center, you void out, which is very handy because it puts me inside the boat, which is where I would like to be, because the boat was kind of out of the way. It would have had to sail all the way around the island.
Also, you need to reload too, though, right? To like get in coral, because like he doesn't let you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to even get inside him normally.
Yeah, when
like,
you come here for the first time, during this cutscene, or like during this sequence of events, he like tells you to visit your family.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like he doesn't let you go in until you visit your family. But in this case, visiting the family is just avoiding out and drowning.
Yeah, normally he's like, oh, go speak to grandma, but the game doesn't actually check for that. It just checks that you reloaded the area. And then I swam or sailed around to the right side so I can just instantly shoot this wall down. And yeah, this cutscene in here is actually specifically tied to shooting down that wall. So you can like do a clip out of bounds and enter the loading zone and get like into this room, but the cutscene doesn't play. You just kind of chill, and nothing happens. You have to specifically shoot down the wall.
I love him.
Big fish boy.
Big Fish Boy! He's my new best friend. Friendship ended with Link. Now Big Fish Boy is my new best friend.
He is pretty cool. Although in this cutscene, basically he's saying that Link is not the hero. That's basically what happens in this cutscene.
Oh, never mind.
These two guys are talking to each other in their secret language, saying that you are not the hero.
But we're about to prove him wrong.
Yep.
Ha ha ha!
So yeah, this is the third pearl, which is all we need to go to Tower of the Gods. It is kind of funny watching this cutscene in Japanese, because normally it's like you can read half the text and then not the others, but I just can't read any of it.
I unfortunately did not pick Japanese to learn in high school.
So now we're just gonna go drop off both pearls we have back to back and immediately go to Tower of the Gods, which is the third dungeon in the game.
And how many dungeons total are there again?
There are 6 dungeons.
6.
6 that we count as dungeons. There's like
Oh, okay.
Forsaken Fortress 1, which you could argue is a dungeon, but we don't count it. Although we did beat it anyway, so if you want to count that, we did 7. And this super swim is a little tight, but this should be fine. It's just very hard to see the island sometimes. It's a very tiny triangle island. I won't take that magic. Just gotta wait for the boss level to be good there.
Yeah, swimming off these triangle islands also gonna be kind of annoying.
Yeah.
You can't really get a refill off of them consistently. And also in this specific case, these sea hats are here, which make it annoying sometimes when you target them.
Yeah, because when I release a super swim, I'm holding target to like kind of lock my angle. But because of those enemies, there's so many on that triangle island, that when you release the swim, you will very often target them, which causes you to just like turn around uncontrollably. But they did not troll me today.
Without the tuner, basically, you just gotta do a lot of like detours to make up for it. Like Dragon Roost, you can't hover to the top. Someone asked in chat. You can't hover to the top, so you have to go through most of the dungeon, not casually, but with chest storage, you have to go through most of it. We couldn't hover to the leaf, so we'd have to do like a chest storage strat to climb outside. What else is there?
Yeah, basically, hovers. Sorry, not hover. The Tingle Tuner is like a lot of its uses are just kind of convenience, like getting extra rupees and stuff. And then like the main things are zombie hovers, which there are like chest storage alternatives for all of them pretty much, but they're just a bit slower. The big thing is a trick that I'm going to be doing later on, which like changes the entire route of the run, which is only possible if you have the Tingle Tuner. And that's the thing that saves like 20 minutes that I mentioned before.
What? Okay.
There is a balloon we use here, but it doesn't save that much time. It's a more of a convenience thing too in this dungeon.
Yeah, it's like Tingle Balloons, the Tingle Balloon Super Swim. I'm going to be doing a few more of those. Like, those are really nice, but you can just get air refills somewhere else. Or make a pit stop on an island. Because yeah, the thing about Super Swims that I don't think was already mentioned is because you're charging speed and your speed increases like linearly basically, but also you're losing air. So there's kind of like a cap on how far you can go in just like a regular super swim. And if you want to go further, you have to like get an air refill or something. Or, well yeah, you need to get an air refill. Normally you can go like 2 to 3 quadrants without an air refill, and going further, you can't really do it. Anyway, Tower of the Gods.
This dungeon's alright. It's kind of boring. Well, not literally. I think for like a speedrun, I think it's like one of the more boring runs, or boring dungeons.
I like the movement in this dungeon. I think it's fun, but there's just
I think it's fun.
A lot of like small cutscenes everywhere, basically.
Yeah. And once we do this first skip, there's not really much more you can skip.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skip the whole of floor 1 here. And use my bombs and leave to do another ledge clip, which is the same as I did at Forest Haven earlier. Using the bomb to push me out of bounds, and that just skipped all of the first floor.
But yeah, for now, for the most part, we have to go through the dungeon. Ow, laser beam. We have to go through the dungeon pretty much as intended. They did a pretty good job at making sure we couldn't break it more.
Yeah,
Right.
we almost found a way to break it recently.
Yeah, we'll complain about that for like the entirety of Wind Temple later.
Yeah.
There was, maybe like a week or two ago, there was almost a pretty big...
Stole my rupees.
Oh god.
How could he?
Yeah, like a week or two ago, there was almost a really big breakthrough that just didn't end up working out.
No.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later. It could have affected this dungeon, but there's like something else later that it would have been more important for. So in this room, I'm gonna do a flip to skip having this statue like walk really slowly. Normally you have to like have him follow you, but if I just pull him, I can crawl and then pick him up through the floor. And then I don't have to wait for him to walk really slowly towards me. And then these chews jump into the void, because why not?
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, the whole gimmick is we gotta get all these statues, and that's the only way to get to the next floor. With current knowledge.
Yeah. There is a way to basically skip this dungeon. So like at the end of this dungeon, so you beat the boss, then you go for a warp, and it takes you to this area with the bell on top of the dungeon. And there is a way to get to that bell area without like entering the dungeon at all. So you can skip the dungeon, but it doesn't count for all dungeons, because our definition of beating a dungeon is hitting the warp after the boss or the loading zone. So it takes you like one loading zone too far, basically. It's a pretty dumb trick anyway, so...
Yes. Also, at least I think the current setup is not faster.
Yeah, it uses actor loading, which we don't need to talk about, but it's bad. It's cool, but it's bad. And just some leaf pumps get me across these gaps. And then before calling this statue down, I'm gonna do a bit of a position setup, so that when it jumps towards me, I will have a specific angle. So I have this angle, and then that's going to let me get into this corner and perfectly just side hop around that pillar to skip the puzzle in this room. I missed. And then this is the mini boss.
He's not mini at all.
He's pretty large, yeah. So you can break these guys' armor, but if you actually completely break the armor, then it will reset his health. So what I did was I did a bunch of slashes to the armor, but I did like just barely not enough to actually break it, and then I just slashed it off normally, which meant that it didn't reset his health, so all of the damage I did to the armor still counted, and then he died in just one spin attack.
I just left Link just on top of the chest.
Yeah, he's gonna be on top of chests quite a lot. I'm gonna be doing storage on chests and stuff later.
Oh, he thinks he's tall.
I hit that switch and leafed the bubble. Oh, he actually survived. Wow. I've never seen him
You
survive.
should let him live. No.
That guy was supposed to fall into the void when I did that, but I've actually never seen him survive that. Also, I just got the bow, by the way. Pretty useful.
Yeah, it'll be pretty broken later. And also, not required to beat the dungeon, but heavily advised.
Yeah. And this part here has a nice magic refill. Onto the third statue. In this one, there's like a whole bunch of platforms that you have to ride, but I can just kind of leave. straight to the chest. They didn't think that one through very much. And then all I need was that key, so I'm gonna just void out to respawn by the door. And now this ladder is actually the final boss of the game.
Oh,
So
really?
let's see. Okay, so there are 2 keys, and sometimes they just knock you off like 10 times in a row. They were nice too today.
Nice. That ledge grab is pretty hard with the good leaf pumping.
Yeah, 2 precise leaf pumps there. And then for this statue, I'm gonna make sure I grab this pillar, so that when I call him, I can then just leaf over the lasers again, instead of having to play Command Melody. That was that song I just learned, by the way, Command Melody, which lets you control these statues, which I'm not going to use a single time in this dungeon, because we just have faster methods. And then I use a tingle balloon here, which lets me walk in the air for 5 seconds, and I keep it while going through the door, so I can skip the scales puzzle.
Yeah. Fun fact, you actually have to start it in the previous room because it does not let you do it in that room. The developers were kind of aware that the tuner is kind of broken, so in some rooms where it could potentially lead to like a casual skipping something, they restricted it, but not enough.
Yeah. Alright.
Like the room before Bo, you could not use it there either, because you could just walk over that gap with the statue.
And then just can finally head up to the last floor. I do a jump slash into this warp because normally there's like a slow animation of Link walking to the center, but if you just land in the center, it doesn't do it. I'm gonna do a bomb boost over this laser.
Massive time save.
I love how excited he is. Like, look at this thing I found.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one we're gonna get, so unique. And then I just used a green tank, which is a magic potion, basically. And then I rolled into that cutscene specifically so that I can avoid that first laser, or like roll through it during the cutscene. And then... nice. That jump slash over both of those lasers is really precise. Alright, and we are at the boss. Everyone's favorite boss. This guy here, he has a head and 2 hands. And I need to shoot them with the bow, but he likes to fly around in unpredictable ways. And the hands can also revive themselves randomly. It's like after you defeat a hand, there's like a random timer where after a certain amount of time, it'll just come back to life. And that timer can be literally instantly, so it's pretty annoying. But we'll see how he treats me today. Like that. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Wait, where is he? Oh my god. This is awful.
Okay. You pretty much just gotta rinse and repeat that 3 times.
No. And then when he does this, like, bomb attack, if I stand underneath his head, then it will cancel it. And I ran out of arrows, so I had to get this refill. Dude, oh my god. That was awful.
Sir, please.
Alright. That's okay. Yeah, generally for the hands, what I want to do is like kind of alternate shooting them. So like I shoot one then the other, because they take 2 shots, and I want to like kill them both immediately, like at the same time, because that'll like reduce the chance of me killing one and then it revives before I kill the other one. So that means like I'm trying to kind of switch between them, but if they're flying behind me, I can't really target them, so I have to like, it gets messy, basically. Also, hey, nice talking to you. No, I missed. Rip. Alright, 3 dungeons.
Are you gonna ring the bell for reals?
Oh god, am I? No.
Bong.
Nice bell.
Now, can I just take a moment to let everyone know we have opened a couple more incentives. If you want to type !incentives, they are both for Stardew Valley. The first one is you can pick the farm name. 6 character limit, but hey, it'll be on all the maps, it'll be on all the menus. You can pick the farm name. There is also the incentive for whether to adopt a cat or a dog. Now, the cat is faster, but the dog will get you a couple of seconds more of Stardew Valley. That's right, you'll get more Stardew Valley if you bid for the dog. And get those donations in before the end of the 102 Dalmatians run, which is after this.
Yeah. Isn't that a task?
It is!
That sounds pretty cool.
I'm very excited.
Alright, so we mentioned earlier there's like Hyrule 1, 2, and 3. So this is Hyrule 1. We are heading down to Hyrule Castle, this is where you get the Master Sword. And normally what you do is you get the Master Sword, you fight a bunch of enemies, and then you leave. And you continue on with your adventure. But we're going to be doing a few more things down here.
Some easy tricks.
Yes. This is definitely the easiest part of the run, and doesn't have like all of the hardest tricks in a row after each other.
Yeah.
Alright, seeing this cutscene is actually kind of weird for me, because like most categories of this game these days skip Hyrule 1. Like 100% doesn't do Hyrule 1, 80%. So, this is kind of a weird cutscene for me to see at this point. Yeah, so normally, to get the Master Sword, you have to do this like block puzzle, but I would rather do something else. So I'm going to be doing another roll clip to skip that. So I just head up these stairs, get into this railing, do some crawling, and then I can just leaf into the loading zone. That was really fast.
Yeah, that was clean.
Chloe, go.
Do not have my splits up, but I feel like that would have been a gold.
119 Master Sword's pretty good. Pretty good.
That is pretty good. I didn't get the Picto box, which is like...
Oh, that's true.
A minute 20-ish. But still, like sub 120 is fine. I don't actually remember what my best Master Sword time is. I think like 117 something.
46.
With Box.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the leaderboard.
Alright, so yeah, getting that is gonna turn this place all colorful, which is nice. A side effect of not usually doing Hyrule 1 is that we don't usually see Hyrule in color, so pretty nice to see it here.
That's a lot of enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill all of them to leave. At least, that's what the game thinks.
Wah, wah, wah.
So yeah, normally, like I said, you just leave, go back to the surface. But there is another place that exists down here called Ganon's Tower. But I mean, that's like the very end of the game, so surely I won't be going there. There's like this huge barrier in the way. It's
Also, you
impossible.
still got dungeons to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it would be insane for me to go to Ganon's Tower right now. Anyway. So yeah, all these enemies. I will just, see ya. So I'm gonna run down over here. And this is a great place to do another ledge clip.
Whoa. I really scared.
And
That
is
trick
how
is
you-
pretty bad to mess up.
Yeah. And then here is the giant barrier. So the barrier is going to knock me back infinitely, but if I pull my Wind Waker on the right frame, then I can cancel that knockback, like that. And then I'm going to do a setup to get into a very precise position, which I messed up. And then I'm going to get another very precise angle. And then I'm going to pull a bomb and pause. And spin the camera around. And just squeeze on through the barrier.
Whoa.
So, that is a pretty huge skip. That was like the holy grail of speedrunning for a long time. So...
I mean, that's pretty involved.
Yeah, so there is like a tiny, tiny, tiny gap in the middle of the barrier. And so what I did was I got into that very, very precise position and angle, and I pulled the bomb. And what I did was I pressed B on a specific frame. And what that did was it made Link try to pull out his sword, which made him drop the bomb, like, on his head. And when you do that, it pushes Link forwards. And it does that with... It displaces Link so much in that one single frame that it's just enough to clip through the barrier. If you have the
Whoa.
perfect position, angle, and frame perfect.
Well, that is amazing.
So yeah, that's called a bomb push clip, and there will be one more of those.
An even more precise one.
Yeah, that one was like child's play compared to what we're doing later.
Okay, well, I was impressed.
I mean, it won't really look any different, but when you know how precise it is, it's like, it's so much more precise than the next one.
Well, you say you have to get an exact angle?
Yeah. So Mini manually lined it up, but you can also, there's also setups for it. But it's like a 15 unit window or something like that, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's less.
Yeah, the angle is, I think, 16 units out of like 65,000.
Whoa.
Like a full circle is 65,000. Also, I just did trial skip. I did a roll clip
Yes.
instant leafing, and I skipped all the trials.
Yeah, usually you have to like refight all the bosses to open that door, but that's slow.
Okay, and then here I'm going to be doing a trick called boomerang skip. So there are these switches, and you need to hit them in a specific order. Normally you need to use the boomerang, but if you have sick aiming, and you're good at pause buffering, you can do it with the bow.
Whoa.
So yeah, that was... For a while, in all dungeons, runners would get the boomerang specifically for this and nothing else. Because people just thought that was like TAS only, it was too difficult. And then when I first started running all dungeons, I tried it and I was like, hey, it's actually not that bad. Let's just do it.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty good leniency. Well, not without pause buffering, but you can mess up some buffers and like still back it up.
Yeah, if you try to do it unbuffered, then yeah, it's really hard, but I think just no one really tried to find a good setup for it until I found that one. And I was like, hey, this is actually really not that bad. So yeah, that saved like 2 minutes just from not having to go and get the boomerang.
That's pro gaming right there.
Yep. And then this is the Phantom Ganon maze. Normally you have to kill Phantom Ganon a bunch and like follow the way his sword points, but it's just the same every time. And then I'm gonna go to this nice jump. That door is very weird and makes you jump for some reason sometimes. Gonna go to this this hidden room, which has a bunch of rupees in it. That should be enough rupees. And then I pull a bomb while opening this door, because it skips a little animation of Link turning around to look at the, like the bars close. Which is pretty handy. And here is one reason we came here early, which is the light arrows. And yeah, light arrows are pretty handy, and also when you get the light arrows, the game automatically gives you fire and ice arrows as well. So it kind of just gives you like the max upgraded bow. So
And having light arrows this early is very broken.
Yeah, like all three of the arrows are useful to have. Surprisingly, ice arrows become probably like the most useful ones to have. For a skip that I'll be doing later. So I broke that wall, but I'm not actually going there right now. I'm gonna be taking this dark portal, which we activated earlier. This is a portal between Ganon's Castle and Forsaken Fortress. So that means at the end of the run, once I'm done, I can just swim to Forsaken Fortress and take the portal back to Ganon's Tower, so I don't have to like go to Hyrule 3 and like get the Triforce and stuff.
But the portal's not there. Look.
Oh my god, it's not there. Wait, what?
What are we gonna do?
Worry about that later.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we killed Phantom Ganon earlier, but psych, he's still alive. So yeah, he is just back from the dead, I guess. I'm gonna be taking some damage during this.
Yummy frames.
Yeah, it's very laggy here. And if you get 2 ground spawns in a row here, then you can defeat him in 2 cycles. But I am not getting ground spawns. He missed, okay. Alright. Hey, a raid. Thanks for the raid.
I was waiting until after your fight. Yes, everyone, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. We are here helping our beautiful friend Happy Bear clear some of her medical debt. If you type !incentives, you can see the upcoming incentive that we've got going on for the rest of the marathon, and you can also type !donate, or scan the QR code on screen to go directly to Happy's coffee.
Alright, so I'm gonna do a bomb push storage on this chest and store it, and that makes everything go dark, which we haven't seen before, but that's just a side effect of the type of chest that I just stored. And then I'm currently like climbing up the walls of Forsaken Fortress. You can't really tell what's going on because it's all dark, but I'm looking at the minimap basically, and navigating around. And then I'm going to run up this wall here, over here, and then I can jump through the wall. And I just leaped into the loading zone at the end of Forsaken Fortress, and I'm now in the boss room. So that's pretty handy. Doing that movement in the darkness like that is... It takes some getting used to. You can do a strat that loses like maybe 20 seconds where you still have vision. So you can definitely just do that instead, but the dark world movement is pretty cool and faster if you get good at it. Yeah, if you could see what was going on, you would have seen me literally just running up the entire place.
Now it's time for the fun part of the run.
Yeah, so coming up is a pretty difficult trick. Where do we start with explaining this? Basically, so when you get to the end of this fight, you go through a door, and there's a bunch of cutscenes, and it sends you to Hyrule 2. But I don't want to do Hyrule 2. Hyrule 2 takes like 10 minutes, and I actually don't need to do it. In the past, there was like flags, like triggers, that were set by Hyrule 2, which meant that you couldn't skip it. So like, even though we had this trick to skip it, like in quotation marks, we still had to do it because of other stuff. But then we found a trick that we'll see later that meant we didn't have that dependency anymore. So then suddenly, this difficult trick became part of the run as well, to skip Hyrule 2.
Yeah, it's basically another cutscene skip.
Yeah. There's, you know, there's the door you go through, the loading zone, and then it just locks you into this chain of cutscenes that you can't get out of. But yeah, I'm gonna be basically activating the loading zone and voiding out at the same time. The same way as like Greyfish cutscene skip or Deku Tree cutscene skip.
Yeah, but unfortunately this time we don't have a Chin to help, or a Drown to help.
Yeah, we just have a bomb and a leaf.
Which luckily is good enough.
Yeah. A bomb, a leaf, and a pot friend, which we'll see.
Uh-oh, what's going on here?
Oh my god. Big bird.
Big bird? That's not big bird.
So large. Oh my god. Okay, definitely saving here.
Yeah, if you get stuck in here without magic, basically by failing the trick and like not having leftover magic and nowhere to like safety reload, it's over.
Yeah, this trick takes up a lot of magic, so you know, if I fail it and didn't save, there's also nowhere to get magic, so I would be kind of screwed.
Yeah, one thing you could be asking, like, why don't you just like buy magic from Tingle? The tuner is on right now and still connected, but you can only use Tingle Tuner in areas that have a map. So that's like overworld and dungeons pretty much. So here we cannot use it. Dungeons other than boss rooms and like mini boss rooms.
You want to explain this?
Yeah, so Helmrock's in the way. Usually you need the hammer, and we could just leaf around him, which is something that some people do here. But when you like walk back and forth in this spot, he like transitions back and forth from like coming to hit you and going to guard that spot. And you just do it over and over again. He just floats higher and higher and higher, and we can go past him. But in this specific category, we also use him to clip us out of bounds here because it's quicker. Because we're trying to skip the cutscene, so we're not going to the door normally. So now Minnie's going to clip out of bounds of the arena, which he already did. He's going to jump and ride the railings. And now he's going to get storage and then kind of parkour his way to the door frame. It's going to look really weird and like you kind of question why the heck the collision even is the way it is there. Like, it's a miracle if you can even get to that door frame, but he's going to get to the door frame. And then he's going to...
That was scary.
It's very scary to like fail anything. Basically, he's gonna get to the door frame, and then because he has storage, he can trigger the cutscene, but the environment still like moves, like time still moves, and Link can still do things. So he's gonna have storage, trigger the cutscene, and then get blown up by a bomb and fall into the void as the cutscene starts, pretty much. And that's what's gonna skip the cutscene. So now he's gonna leaf to the door frame.
Very careful here.
Yeah, you can get clipped back in pretty easily. It's kind of scary. And now he's gonna set up the bombs and the side hop, and hopefully everything goes well.
Oh my god, okay. I thought that was late. It worked.
Sweet.
Okay,
And now
so
we're
with
all
that,
here.
Skip the cutscene. Also, I purposely didn't damage down all the way, just to show off. You can walk around in this cutscene room, just for fun, but I just want to die, so... There are no walls, by the way.
I did not know that. I knew you could void out, but I didn't know you could void out like that.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole point of that was to skip the cutscene. I also activated the loading zone, which means that did count for beating the dungeon as well, because activating that loading zone is what we need to beat the dungeon. And then when you save warp or death warp in here, the game doesn't know where to put you because it's a cutscene room, so it puts me to Windfall, because that's just kind of the default place to put you if it doesn't have a specific location set. So yeah, I'm at Windfall now.
Also very convenient because it's close to where we have to go.
Yeah. So yeah, so normally you'd like go down to Hyrule, you have a bunch of cutscenes, and then you have to do a bunch of sailing, and that just skipped all of that. And I'm gonna be heading to Gale Island now. Gonna grab some magic from this pile of leaves. Equip the hammer, and then normally you need the iron boots to get past this, but if you pull the Wind Waker, kind of prevents the wind from blowing you for a second. So if you just repeatedly pull the Wind Waker, then I can just barely hit that thing with the hammer and get through to learn the Wind God's Aria. Okay, in Tower of the Gods, we kind of alluded to something about a potential huge new trick being found. And that is related to this song I'm learning. So it makes me very sad right now that I'm learning this song. Because this song, we need this song to get Makar, which is needed for Wind Temple. So we have to go and get Makar and then bring him to Wind Temple. And we basically found a way to skip it, except it crashes on console. So it would have saved so much time, and it would have been so cool, but we just haven't found a way to make it actually work. It would have skipped this cutscene, you know, it would have skipped this trip to this island altogether, it would have skipped going to get Makar, all those cutscenes, and potentially a bunch of other uses in other dungeons. But it just crashes. It's very sad.
I finally wrapped up my controller. I gave up.
But yeah, for now, we learn this song. It's not too far out of the way. It just makes me sad of what could have been.
Yeah, the implications. I think the coolest implication of it would have been beating Wind Temple before Temple. Like not maybe not in this category if it wasn't faster, but like just in general, because
Yeah.
it is not possible to beat Wind beyond like, despite a lot of, you know, like rumors of like people saying you could, or like back in their childhood, you cannot beat the Wind Temple before Earth Temple with current knowledge at all. But that would have allowed it, which would have been kind of cool.
Even with all of the crazy glitches that like are not RTA viable, even if you're a TAS, it's not possible. Like we have a glitch that is very much TAS only, where you can basically get any item you want. So you can like get the hookshot early or something. Even that, you still can't beat Wind Temple before Earth Temple.
And that's mostly because of the huge dependency on needing Makar to get past the the second and third room. Wait, no, the third and fourth room in Wind Temple.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's right.
And the way we're talking about it kind of alludes that, you know, maybe we don't need to learn the other stuff for the other dungeon, but we'll see that soon.
Yeah. You know, maybe we do have a skip for the other one. Who knows? Anyway, I'm at Fire Mountain now. I need to get the power bracelets to be able to beat Earth Temple. And then as I'm climbing, I'm gonna use another green tank to refill magic, so I'm gonna need a lot of magic coming on.
Do I have time for just a little minute of time?
Yep.
All right. I just want to let everyone know who has just come in. This is Bear Force 1. Bear Force 1 was put together as an impromptu event, and it could not have been possible without the help of all volunteers, runners, and most importantly, you, the viewers and donors. We appreciate any and all support that you can give Happy Bear in her time of need so that we can help her afford the surgery she needs without worrying about major financial loss. Make sure to type schedule and exclamation mark schedule in chat to see what's next. Type exclamation mark incentives to see the cool incentives, and of course, exclamation mark donate to donate.
Oh wow, that was interesting. That piece hit me as I picked up the rock, and it made it automatically throw, I think, faster than normal.
Sweet.
Okay, so I'm going to be heading to the Earth Temple now. And, yeah, we were talking about possibly skipping Makar for Wind Temple. Nice move. Get in the water. Okay. Yeah, we do have a way to skip Medley for Earth Temple, and that was the discovery. Early Earth Temple was what led to Hyrule 2 skip being useful. So when early Earth Temple was found, that just changed this entire category.
Yeah, because usually you need to beat Hyrule 2 to spawn Medley and bring her Earth Temple, but now we literally do not need her at all.
Yeah, and then I just swam into this reef as it was loading. So I can... Nice. So I can sploosh on it. Okay, that's not what I wanted. When you go into that corner in these reefs, you get like a free air refill. So what I just did was I swam into the reef as it was mid-loading, and then I started pause buffering. So it loaded like as I was inside the reef, so I didn't have to like try to navigate to this tiny entrance. I was just already inside it when it loaded. And then I got that air refill, and I wanted to just swim out, but I messed it up and got swooshed. Okay, sure.
Whoa.
I just clicked for it, but I still got the air refill, so that's fine.
So yeah, we're about to see Barrier Skip 2. And I mean that in the literal sense.
Yeah, so this is the second bomb push clip. I do a very precise setup to get into position. Oh, whoops. I guess I didn't turn all the way. So while the barrier skip position was like really precise, this one is like as precise as it can possibly be. As in, at least in one of the coordinates, I think the Z coordinate, I have to be on the closest possible position to touching the loading zone. Like, there is literally not a closer position that exists that I could touch right now. And then I'm going to do the bomb push clip. And a bunch of leaf pumps.
This leaf pumping is also really hard.
Yeah, the leaf pumps is the hardest part, but that was really good.
Wow.
That was clean.
Wow.
Yeah,
Alright,
so usually you have to
in
play the
left
song medley up there.
Alright, gonna just refill some magic.
But in addition to needing medley to open that stone, we also kind of need her to get to the next room. Well, at least before.
Yeah,
But
you're
now
supposed
we
to
don't.
need medley here. But I have other plans. So I'm gonna run up here and equip a tingle balloon. I'm gonna just hang around this moblin for a little bit. He's gonna start following me. I activate my Tingle Balloon, and I shoot him with an ice arrow. I can pick him up, and then the Tingle Balloon lets me walk in the air with just enough time to make it over here. I shoot him again. I can place him on this switch. Leaf over to the other switch. Normally you're supposed to use Medley to hit these switches, but I just used a Moblin Friend instead.
That is the only like requirement for Medley beforehand.
No. I need some more magic. Yeah, I need to reload this room to get more magic. That's okay. And I'm also going to safety save. I'll save after I get magic, actually.
Yeah, our temple is a very scary place to mess
Nice
up.
sail.
Whoa. That was awesome.
Okay. So the thing about this dungeon is I really want to get chest storage, but there aren't really any chests I can get without having either Medley or the Mirror Shield, which I don't have either, so I have no way to reflect light. So instead, for now, I'm going to do this thing called door storage. So I stored one of those doors and then opened the other one, and the game got confused and didn't really know which door to put me in. So it kind of just put me between both of them, and then unloaded that room, so I fell through the floor, so I can leaf to this bottom door. Okay, still no chest, but at least I'm further into the dungeon. Then I'm going to get storage on this little pillar thing. And leaf over here. Also, I'm invisible. Don't worry about it.
Where is he?
I blow up this skull with a tingle bomb, which activates this hidden tingle chest. I open it at the same time as closing that text box, which gives me chest storage while also having vision, instead of everything going dark like in Forsaken Fortress. I leaf back over here, and then I'm going to skip... Oh my god, okay. Did not expect to target that guy. I'm gonna skip this songstone by doing a roll clip and then some leaf pumps here. By the way, if I mess up any of this, I have to reload my save.
Oh no.
Okay. That's probably the scariest part right there. The rest of it's not too bad. I kill this guy because he's annoying, and then leaf up here. So I can leaf over here. I equip another tingle balloon and activate it. I climb this ledge. Oh my god, okay. That was almost too early. I run around with the tingle balloon. Now I'm at this door. Then I can run through this room. I got cursed by the purple stuff, so I have to wait to be able to use my sword. Jump slash up here. Get up here. Do another clip with chest storage. Leaf under the floor into this room. Grab some magic. Jump up here, do another clip. As you can see, chest storage kind of breaks this dungeon. You can see why I really wanted chest storage. Clip over here to open this door. And then grab some more magic and rupees in this coffin. Run up this, leaf onto this coffin. Clip again, hope that these keys don't hit me. And then leaf around. I'm almost at the end now. I can open this door. And then I'm almost at the boss door. Make sure I have enough magic to leaf across this gap. And then grab some more magic. And again, boss doors are a suggestion with chest storage. I can just backflip and leaf into the boss.
I want to take a moment to welcome our raiders. Welcome in, raiders.
Yeah, sorry I was talking a lot, but there's a lot going on in that dungeon.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, hello, Raid. Okay, that all went really well.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. The only room we can mess up in and like not have to reload is the room before the boss key with the coffins. Because there is actually a chest there you can back up with. But any other room, if you fail, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. And this is Jalvala.
Yeah, we don't have mirror shield, which is what we're supposed to use to like shine the light on him, but light arrows just do that for us, which also we're not supposed to have, but luckily we do. If not, we would have to get the mirror shield, which is pretty slow.
Yeah, it is very strange that light arrows work, but they do. And I can just use them against this guy.
Yeah, this category, interestingly, does not have a shield for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, not just the mirror shield, we don't have a shield at all.
And we don't even get one traditionally. It'll be interesting.
I forgot to play. Got distracted by the orb. Oh wait.
Orb?
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 No. Surely not.
No.
Yeah, so this guy takes 3 cycles usually. In my PB, I messed up and got 4 cycles. I was very sad. And if you're a TAS, you can do it in 2 cycles, or technically probably 1 cycle, but it's really insane. I definitely recommend watching the old any % TAS of this game, like before Barrier Skip was found. It's really good, and it does 2 cycle in this boss, which involves killing like 6 pose on a single frame, I think. Okay, before leaving this dungeon, I'm gonna damage down a bit on these spikes. And of course, not grab the heart container. And we skipped Medley, but here she is anyway.
I love her.
So this cutscene is going to give me the half-charged Master Sword, which is what's going to spawn Makar, and let me go and get Makar and enter Wind Temple. Which is why you strictly need to do Earth Temple before Wind Temple right now. Because we need Makar, and to get Makar we need the half-charged Master Sword, and this is the only way we need to get it. Even the glitch, which lets you give yourself any item, can't give you the half-charged Master Sword.
Wait, if we were able to, that would spawn Makar. That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is just having the sword in your inventory.
Still wouldn't be as cool as skipping him, but that would be pretty cool, I guess.
Alright. So yeah, this was, like, Earth Temple is like the hardest part of the run, basically. There's a lot of stuff going on with early Earth Temple, and then all the stuff in the dungeon. There's a lot of frame perfect roll clips and stuff, and if you mess up, you are stuck. But yeah, pretty glad with how that went.
Can I take a moment to bring up a couple of incentives?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to let everyone know that we have a couple of incentives open right now for the Sticky Business Run with Gala Kitty. You can pick a pride flag. Currently in the lead is the Ace Pride flag with $220, but of course you've got plenty of time to get that money in through the end of 102 Dalmatians. We also have some Stardew Valley 2v2 marriage run incentives. You can name the farm. And no one has donated for that, so like I said, it is anyone's game. You can also choose to adopt the cat or the dog. and those will be opened through the start of Stardew Valley.
Alright, so I just swam over here to Ice Ring, so I can go get the iron boots. And I'm going to use a tingle balloon. No, I'm not going to shoot the boat. I'm going to use a tingle balloon to kind of skip using these ice platforms. Also, big raid. So yeah, just walk in the air and skip those platforms. Very nice, especially with my wind direction right now.
Yes, Raiders, welcome to the stream. Please do !incentives to check out our incentives and !donate, or use the QR code on stream to donate to our friend Happy Bear.
Alright, and I get the iron boots. The iron boots are required to press one switch in Wind Temple and nothing else.
So,
Also, I can just roll past that wind, by the way.
and also, back to the hypothetical skip, even that wouldn't skip the iron boots requirement, which is kind of funny if that were the case.
Yeah, we really need iron boots. And we can do some leafing across here. I have so much magic. Wow, I normally like run out of magic here. Okay, and now we're just going to be heading to go get in the car. So just a short little super swim, only one quadrant away. Then do a nice little jump slash up here. And I want to grab some magic while I'm here as well, because this grass usually has a bunch of magic in it.
Yeah.
And this little onion man, the whole reason we had to get at this song. We don't even use the song in the dungeon, and it is technically possible to enter the dungeon without playing the song. So really, this is the only requirement for the song, is just playing it to him here. Although entering the dungeon without getting the song is very difficult. Probably not ever going to be RTA viable. At least entering the dungeon with Makar.
Yeah, the room for like the entering Wind Temple is the exact same room as the Earth Temple, so you could do the same push clip, but like to have Makar spawn in the dungeon, you either need to play the song at the stone and watch that cutscene, or drop him into the loading zone.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You can skip the cutscene, but you have to like physically put Makar into the hole that goes to the dungeon.
Which I'm confused as to why that even works. Like,
Yeah, I have no idea. It's very strange. But anyway, I'm gonna be doing another balloon super swim, which is pretty cool. Saw one of these way earlier after Dragon Roost Cavern. But this time I'm going to be going all the way to Wind Temple, which is very far away, so it's convenient to use a balloon to get an air refill. I'm going to charge my speed in this specific spot, because Tingle works very strangely when you're trying to activate balloons during these swims. He's very picky about like your specific location. Sometimes just will refuse to sell you a balloon. Ugh, okay, that was weird. That wasn't as bad.
Welcome in, Raiders!
Hello. Alright, you are here just in time for the final dungeon. And here is a rare instance of a cutscene that you can actually watch in camera lock without the game like soft locking. So pretty fun cutscene, just walking into that loading zone. So yeah, this is the the one instance of playing the song that we can technically skip, but it's very hard. So basically what you have to do is you have to do the bomb push clip, like I did to Enter Earth Temple, which on its own is really precise. And then you have to land on... You have to land, like, inside the wall, out of bounds. So, like, you land on the floor, but you don't clip into the wall. And it's, like, an incredibly precise position you have to land on. Like, I did basically, like, a TAS of it, and it took me so long to get it, even with, like, save states and frame advance. It's not doable, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, this is the final dungeon.
It's a pretty cool dungeon.
Yeah, gonna be doing something pretty cool in this first room. Although if you like Makar, then maybe look away for this. I'm gonna be trying to pick up Makar on the same frame. He gets blown up by a bomb. And that causes him to go very far when I throw him.
Yeet!
So yeah, we just yeeted him across this entire room, which skips playing Command Melody in there. And just gonna do some side hops through this room.
And here lies our hopes and dreams. Makar is required to plant trees, 3 trees in total, and there is no known way to get around it.
Yep, just these stupid doors that only unlock when I plant trees. You have to go so far out of our way.
Well, as we learned yesterday, in a few runs, trees are awful. We should always destroy them.
True. Especially this little walking tree. Alright, he can also fly, by the way. I guess that's kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, we plant this last tree. And that's the last we're going to need of him. And, yeah, so Makar dies during this cutscene, and we're never going to see him again.
Gosh.
And, you will have seen that
Dragged him to hell.
Yeah, I've been damaging down, so I'm gonna do one more zombie hover. With the last one in the run. It's been a while since we did one. And it's a very short one. I just want to get on top of this door frame. Because from here, I can do a roll flip, get out of bounds, and then leaf to the mini-boss. And an interesting thing about loading zones is that if you leaf above a loading zone, no matter how far above it you are, you just activate it anyway. So even though the mini-boss is like all the way in the basement, we just activated it from here. And this is the mini-boss. And normally it's actually a kind of tough fight. But I have this cool item called the light arrows, which just insta-kills everything. So yeah, that was that mini-boss. Pretty tough. Then I'm going to be doing a strat to leave this room with chest storage. Just skip the puzzle that you normally have to do to leave. So I stored the chest to get chest storage, and then I did some blind movement to clip into one of the door frames. And then I could side hop out of bounds and do a jump slash to hit the loading zone behind the door.
Yeah, you can chest storage clip on any door in this dungeon. We'll see again in a moment with vision this time.
Cool. And then here I'm just doing this, doing some slashes so I can break these floors without actually falling down. And And then for the last one, there's also a cutscene, so I have to get hit by a bomb at the same time. So I can break all those floors without falling down to activate this chest, which, this chest just has like a treasure chart in it, so it's not required by any means. But it is going to let me get chest storage, which is very handy. So I open this chest normally to get the key, and then I want to store this chest. Then do a bit more blind movement. And then we're going to see this flip in the door frames when you have chest storage. You just kind of walk into them and can get out of bounds. And I needed that key to open this door. And then this room is the one actual required use of the iron boots. For this one switch here, you have to hit this switch to get past this door.
Yeah, bar doors are awful.
And then this room is a little scary, but it's not too bad. I'm going to be doing some chest storage parkour. I leaf over here to this fan, and then jump slash will get me past that. Try to avoid this floor master. And if I fell down in that room, it would be really bad, because when you have chest storage, you can't climb vines, so I would have been stuck down there. And to escape, I would have had to have done a zombie hover. Oops. Some nice side hops to skip the puzzle in that room. And then I can just walk behind this. Grab some rupees, and then another one of these door frames that we can just walk through.
Boop.
And that was Wind Temple.
Glad you're out of there. It was really windy.
Yeah. And very windy boss in this room filled with sand for some reason. It's like they forgot what dungeon this boss was for. They made a desert-themed boss.
I mean, when sand gets slapped in your face, it hurts pretty hard.
That is true. Okay, so this boss is Morgera. I'm gonna try to do a 1 cycle. So normally this guy takes 4 cycles, but I'm going to try to hit its tongue with a bomb in a specific way, such that it will let me re-grab it. You want to explain this, EJ?
Yeah, it's a little complicated, but basically, after there's not really like health to this boss. You just have to do the cycle like 4 times. Like there's health to each cycle, which kind of forces him to go to the next one. So what we do here is to skip those like transitions to each cycle. Is that we do enough damage so that the bomb will end the cycle, and then we grab the tongue in a specific window after the bomb hits it, which puts it in this weird state where it's trying to end the cycle, and then we do another frame perfect hook shot to it ends the cycle, but then we re-grab it so it can't leave like that. And then it's just a new cycle. We repeat that 4 times. Bam, boss is done. If you fail at any point, it does what it usually does, where it flies away or like goes away.
Alright, I got 2 out of 3, which is
pretty good, yeah. It's a pretty hard trick.
So yeah, it's like, it's frame perfect, but if you go too early, you can try it again. So you just like try to be on the side of too early, and you just keep retrying until you get it. You can grab his tongue as it's flying down to you, but I missed it there.
And you can try to go for it again, but it's pretty hard once you fail it and the little dudes spawn. They make it kind of annoying.
Yeah, and then I specifically did an equip as I killed him, because for some reason, sometimes this boss can make your game crash after you beat it. Okay, so you hear this music playing. This means that I'm not going to get the crash, which is very nice. But sometimes this music doesn't play, and that means that when you enter the loading zone or the warp afterwards, your game will crash. well, crash in quotation marks. It's not technically a crash, but we call it a crash. And if you pause at the same time as you killed him, it supposedly reduces the chance of that happening. So I always do that. But we didn't get it, so that's fine. I think I have enough health to not get this. This is the one heart container I do get sometimes, but no, I'm fine. Usually just if I get hit by that boss, because he does 2 hearts of damage, then I'll grab that heart container. But this is the final post-dungeon cutscene, so any donations or anything, this would be a great time.
Just want to remind everyone why we are here today. Fair Force One is a mutual aid fundraiser organized to help a cherished friend of the Frame Fatales, Lady Arcaders, and overall speedrunning community, Happy Bear. She is crowdsourcing funds to help offset her current medical debt so she can afford a future surgery. And as a newly admitted grad school student, funds are tight. We as a community have all rallied together to create this event and support her, and with your donations, we can help change Happy Bear's life and make sure that she can get the care she needs comfortably. Do I have a little more time?
Yep.
All right. We have a few incentives we'd like to hit, and I know we will hit them. The next one up is the Sticky Business incentive. You pick a pride flag. Right now, Ace Pride is up for $220, but there's still plenty of time to beat that because you have until the end of 102 Dalmatians. We also have some Stardew Valley 2v2 marriage race incentives. You can pick the farm name. That's a 6-character limit. And if you want a little more Stardew Valley, you can also choose cat versus dog. Cat is faster and dog adds a little bit more to the marathon. So get those donations in lickety-split.
Alright. Yeah, we are done with all the dungeons. And remember earlier I opened up that dark bottle. So I can just go to Forsaken Fortress 2 and head back to Ganon's Tower and basically just go and beat the game. Except it's not quite that simple. Because a side effect of skipping Hyrule 2 meant that Forsaken Fortress is still in the Forsaken Fortress 2 state, rather than advancing to the Forsaken Fortress 3 state. And what that means is the Dark Portal is actually not there right now. So if I went to Forsaken Fortress, it just wouldn't be there, and I couldn't take it to get back to Ganon's Tower, which is an issue. But luckily, I have a plan. So I'm going to swim this way, which is the complete wrong direction. But over here is an island called the Flight Control Platform. Which is, there's like a mini-game here. Seems very random that I'm coming here. But it's gonna do some very handy things. So when you, like, start this minigame, the game is, like, put into a special minigame state. And normally, you're never supposed to, like, leave this island on this state. But, I'm gonna do some tricks so that I can leave the island. And it's gonna cause Forsaken Fortress to be in a different state. So I do a bomb boost to escape, and then I want to get storage. And there isn't really a great place to get storage. So I'm gonna use this flag. I guessed it. Okay. So I want to use this flag to push myself off this ledge so I can get storage. This is pretty annoying, but I pause buffer it so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going too early.
Yeah, so we, if you were to touch the water at all in this quadrant, the minigame ends. So what Minnie's trying to do is get storage so that he can super swim eventually, get on Coral, leave the quadrant, and once you leave the quadrant, that rule doesn't apply anymore. He can swim again, and then he'll super swim to where he needs to go, which is Forsaken Fortress, in this special layer where the thing is there. Although there's a little bit of a caveat, because to use the portal, we need Coral there, King of Red Lions. Like, we can't just go in it as Link, but he's here, not there, and if we reload the overworld at all, that layer isn't like the special layer gets removed, so it goes back to Forsaken Fortress. So we're gonna have to. We're pretty lucky that there is a way to get around that we'll see in a little bit.
Yeah, and what I just did there was there's like an intro cutscene to that island that I didn't hit yet. So if I just went, it would have my storage would have been used to store that cutscene, which I didn't want. I wanted to keep my storage, so I stored that guy's text, Old Man Home, and that meant that I could watch that little cutscene and keep my storage because the text came up and it would give me back my storage. So yeah, like EJ said, if I hit the water anywhere in this quadrant, then I will, the minigame will end. So I'm just going to sail out of the quadrant, and now I'm far enough away that I can do a super swim. And so yeah, so this special minigame layer, one of the side effects is that Forsaken Fortress is in the Forsaken Fortress 3 state, so the portal will be there. They obviously didn't intend for you to leave the minigame, but we did, and we're going to be able to go to the Forsaken Fortress 3 now. I'm going to do another balloon super swim.
And this is the hardest balloon swim in the run, and also the last super swim of the entire run. Oh.
Where am I going? I think I forgot to set my angle the way I wanted. Okay, let me charge more speed. I kind of messed it up, but this is fine.
Beware the sub north of Crescent.
Yeah, I got the air refill, which is what I wanted. Yeah, so we're going to Forsaken Fortress. And then there's this little spot that I can land at, and if I walk towards the edge while pulling Wind Waker, I can do a Wind Waker dive to dive under the island. And you'll see the portal is here, which is great, except King of Red Lions is still all the way at flight control platform on the other side of the map. But very luckily, very thankfully, there is this cutscene here, which you're supposed to hit the first time you come to Forsaken Fortress 2. And this cutscene will teleport King of Red Lions here. So because of that cutscene, if that cutscene wasn't there, we would have to sail all the way from flight control platform to here. And it would take forever. So that cutscene saves like 10 minutes probably. And we are back at Ganon's Tower.
Looks spooky.
Yeah, it is spooky. It feels more spooky than when we were here before. Grab a bit of magic. Actually, I didn't need that because I already did this. And yeah, we're just going to be heading to beat the gate. And I gotta tell you guys, there are some cutscenes coming up, so if you're thinking about donating, this would be a great time because there's plenty of time to read messages in a minute.
It would be a fantastic time for folks to donate because I will do my best to do any impression that you ask for live on stream.
Usually we don't watch these cutscenes, but for the sake of sanity,
Yeah.
we'll watch them today.
Yeah, so I'm going to be fighting the Puppet Ganon boss fight, which is through this door. But there is a skip you can do to, well, skip the fight. I need a heart. Hold on. But the thing is, it's a random trick, and 2 out of 3 times, it just won't work. It's completely RNG. And it costs like 3 minutes each attempt. So, for a marathon, I would rather just not do it, and also the fight is pretty cool, so I'd rather just show you guys the fight instead of trying a 1 in 3 chance and losing 3 minutes every time.
But yeah, that's what getting the Picto Box from earlier is for, should you decide to do it.
2 hours ago, I mentioned that. That is the trick that Picto Box is for. But instead, we just watch the cutscenes, so this is a great time.
Let me just remind everyone that we do have a couple of incentives open, 3 to be precise. We have an incentive for Sticky Business, that very, very cute, cozy, casual game where you play with stickers, run by Scala Kitty. You can pick a pride flag. First up is Ace Pride. It is at $220. but you've still got until the end of the 102 Dalmatians run to get those donations in. We also have a couple of Stardew Valley incentives for the 2v2 marriage race. You can pick the farm name, 6 character limit, and right now, you pick it. Hey, so everybody, get some pennies, get some dollars in there, and pick a name for the farm. And you can also pick which animal to adopt, the cat or the dog. The cat is faster, so if you pick the dog, you have a little bit more Stardew. Think about it. ! Donate. And please remember to include your incentive picks in the coffee comment. This is spooky.
Yeah, great timing. So, about to start the public enemy fight, and this is basically just sniper training. I'm just gonna try to hit him and try to aim as accurately as I can. And get a very quick shot at the start there. Barely missed that, that's too low. He is very close to me right now. Go away. The second shot. Okay. Okay, that was a tough shot at the end, but I got it.
Yeah, usually you're supposed to use the boomerang to knock down the tail and then hit it. But it's just so much faster. And also, honestly, kind of easier, I feel like, to just hit it.
After you practice it, like, doing these snipes is just easier than trying to, like, knock the tail down with the boomerang.
Yeah, because you can accidentally cut the rope with the arrows and the tail will go down like intended, but I swear to God, it's impossible to hit, like, when it's on the floor.
Yeah, because, like, once you learn how the tail moves, it moves, like, somewhat predictably. But when you knock it down, not really. Nice double shot there. And hopefully I get some magic. Nope. Okay. I need a magic drop, otherwise I don't have enough magic. Actually, no, I'll just hook shot to get magic. Or, no, okay, never mind. I'll just wait. Oh no, okay. I forgot about this. Hey, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to hook shot up to this platform to grab some magic from the pods. Get over. And just one more. And after he runs into the wall 3 times, he always runs towards you. So you can kind of predict what he's doing with that. Alright, that third phase was not very good because they didn't get a magic drop. But yeah, not too bad. So yeah, just to talk about the skip a little bit. So normally what you would do is, well, I say normally, like if you're going for a good time and you want to do the skip, you would do a cutscene skip, very similar to all the other cutscene skips where you hit the loading zone and then void out. And then if you do the cutscene skip, it means the boss doesn't actually spawn, which is why I couldn't do the cutscene skip this time, because I needed to fight the boss. So you do the cutscene skip and then you would clip out of bounds, and then there is a warp pot you can see in the background over there, which leads to the top of the room. And the warp pot at the top of the room has like a wooden lid on it. So what you would do is you would shoot a fire arrow all the way to the top of the room, and it would hit an enemy, and that enemy would set on fire, and you would hope that it bounces in a good direction to hit the warp pot lid, to burn the lid. But the direction that enemy bounces is just like completely random, so it ends up only working 1 in 3 times. Also, that was a cool little clip there, and then use the hook shot to just climb up this room. And now we have like a 4-minute cutscene.
Followed by like a 50-second fight.
It is everyone's favorite cutscene though. Ganondorf finds this cutscene very funny, and people like to laugh along with him.
He's a comedian.
Also, I forgot to mention, but I finally have a shield. You might have seen, Link had the mirror shield right then. And, you know, I never got the mirror shield, so why on earth do I have the mirror shield? But in this game, if there's a cutscene where Link, like, draws his sword and shield, the game will just give you that sword and shield in your inventory if you didn't have it already. Which is very handy for a lot of cases. Especially here, because you need a shield to beat Ganondorf. And this cutscene gives you a shield, so pretty handy.
Thank you, Wind Waker.
Also, beating up children is funny, I guess. Says Ganondorf.
Oh, I love beating up children.
Oh, her hand's shiny. Yeah, can I get some W's in chat for Wind Waker?
W and W Acre.
W and Acre.
Alright.
And just, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, yes, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty happy with how this run's gone, to be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's like sub 230.
It's fantastic.
Pretty good.
I just want to remind everyone why we are here this weekend. We are helping our dear, dear friend Happy Bear resolve some medical debt, help her get some even footing as she goes through graduate school. Every dollar help her out and help her position more secure. So thank you all so much for all of your donations this weekend. It really means a lot.
Yep. And something very funny just happened. Ganondorf is very amused. Ha ha ha.
What's that, Benny?
This king guy is pretty funny. He has like a big coat on. He also just appeared out of nowhere.
That is pretty funny, I guess.
Ha ha ha.
Come on, little guy, you can do it. Come on, swim, swam. Cat, we gotta help Link here. We gotta help Zelda here. Get those donations in. I don't know if they're gonna win this time.
Okay, we're almost at the end. The Ganondorf fight is pretty simple. I'm basically just gonna be attacking him and then shooting him with light arrows, or getting Zelda to shoot him. Alright. Let's start. Do that to get Zelda to shoot him. And get him with 2 light arrows. Or 3 light arrows, sorry. And then he just smacks Zelda in the face, because beating up kids is funny, and then do some parries. Need to do 2 of these.
Yeah, this fight's pretty quick, and it's not that scary. It's scary at 80% because you can only take 1 hit before dying, but
Yeah.
we got lots of health. And it's about to be over, anyways.
Yeah, and then speak to Zelda, get her to reflect a light arrow on Link's shield. Ooh. And then timing is about to end in like 3, 2, 1, now. Right as Ganon gets stabbed in the head.
Owie.
Pretty dramatic.
Do you think you could survive that?
Definitely.
Yeah, like rip to all y'all, but I could totally survive a Master Swordsman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Wind Waker All Dungeons. I hope you enjoyed. Lots of
Oh,
crazy tricks in that run.
oh my goodness. I had a hoot of a time. And the two of you, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, minimini352. I run a handful of games. Wind Waker is probably like my main game, but I do a lot of other Zelda games and such.
Yeah, I am also on Twitch, username EJ125. I don't really stream that often, but usually Wind Waker is also my main game, but I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, and thank you so much for being here. And before we sign off, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Just, I hope you all enjoyed, and I really hope we find that skip we were talking about earlier. It would make this even cooler than it was already.
Maybe one of you in
True.
chat will be that person.
I'll
Yeah.
give you a $5 whoever finds it.
You heard it here first, $5.